What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Overthinking Understanding Podcast. I'm your host, Victoria Moore, and we are back with another episode. Sorry about that. What's going on, beautiful people? If y'all heard that intro, y'all already know y'all in the right place. Overthinking Understanding Podcast. I know y'all can't tell on the camera, but the new studio setup is good. I'm feeling it. I felt real conflicted and like closed down for the other studio. I got big changes coming to the studio. Big changes coming into the studio. Before I get into this episode, I want to talk to y'all a little bit. Feel like we've been cutting dry, going straight into it these last few episodes and talking about judgment and observations. It's heavy. It's heavy. People judge all the time. We go break all that down. What's the difference between the observation and judgment, being judgmental, passing judgment? Is it a synonym for each other? Can they be used interchangeable? No. Excuse me. Apologies for that. You can form a, you can make a observation and form a opinion about something, but still not be judgmental. And I say starting my podcast, I've talked about it in other episodes. I was feeding for people's opinion. I had to go back and evaluate and understand that a lot of the stuff that I was asking for, it'll work itself out. It'll work itself out. Like, you have to remember, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And when you used to stepping forward and trying to do something and be great at it or be perfect at it when you start, you're gonna hit a lot of roadblocks. And I say it time and time again, and I'll probably die saying it, write it on my tombstone, casket, or be cremated, put it on my arm. Um, like a lot of times, people who's actually doing what you're doing, they're not being judgmental or they're not talking negative on it. A lot of people that have opinions to give, or being judgmental about what you have going on, have never walked them out in your shoes. And I'm not saying you as a person, I'm just saying you as never has set up in front of a camera and tried to talk, grab somebody attention, never have in anything. Jobs, people be so judgmental about 9 to 5s, and like I say, I stand on it. Your 9 to 5 is messing with your mental health, leave it. But you have people being judgmental, or they're lazy, people want to work, the job that they're doing is super lazy. I could do that job, but then they suck at self checkout, or they just suck at doing a job, customer service job. People look down on janitors and waitresses, and the list goes on, prostitutes, a lot of stuff. And it's like, you couldn't do that job. To be so judgmental about something you can't do is crazy. Like, you couldn't do it if you wanted to. So, like I said, I didn't want to say that again to the episode. Even if you click off, you don't listen to no more of this episode, do not let people's opinions and their judgmental ways take you off your path or make you feel less about yourself. Like, you could cut it out, especially for kids. For kids, we make a lot of mistakes at young ages. If you do not have that reinforcement to tell you, like, screw those people's opinions, you are learning, you are beautiful, you got to grow into it like any of it. You handsome, you can be what you want to be, this, that, and the third. Like, whatever reinforcement is needed to a certain extent, to the left and right limits, do that. Be that. Do not let people opinions and people being judgmental deter you from being your authentic, genuine self. That's literally be genuine to yourself. Learn yourself. A lot of times it's tears you trying to learn yourself, and what you see from the people around you or your peer group, that's not even them. The way that they dress and the way they put their clothes together, their parents could be doing that. You do not even know how that person is and what that person is until they step outside of how they've been taken care of. That's why it's so cool to see people who people consider less fortunate. They learn themselves and learn what they made of so much earlier. and you judge them, you give them an opinion, you feel bad for them, but they figure out what they are, who they are, and what they need to be and how they need to be in order to survive life. So we just get into this episode. If you are new to Overthinking Understanding podcast, on this podcast we explore in depth what we think, what we already know. We just peel back the layers on it, trying to find clarity in the simplest way. Not trying to go over nobody's head. And guess what? It's a judgment free zone. You do not have to believe in what I believe in. You don't have to like everything that I say. If you can take this and send it to somebody else, you're watching on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. If it's not your cup of tea, share it to somebody that you think it'll resonate with. My thing is not for people to I like you as a person. I want you to be able to take the information, digest the information, and make yourself a better person. That's it. Before I started this podcast, I felt like that my journey and what I've been through, and I had something to say that'll actually benefit somebody. Because that's another, it's a hard thing. You think you have a lot to say, and when you get to spitting out the episodes, you letting go of trauma, you letting go of this, that, and it might only be 2 episodes. You might only get to 10 episodes because you felt like you had something to say and teach people, but really you just had to get some stuff off your chest. You got it off your chest, you pack it up. Excuse me, now you're trying to kill yourself to make content. You don't want to do that. Podcasting, having a show, having this support, whatever community, it's not for everybody. But that's what we're here for. So let's think about it. Let's dive into it. We got observation, we got opinions, we got judgment. Observations, opinion, judgment. That's how I'm gonna break it down for this episode. Like I said, it's not a synonym, it's not interchangeable. We all judge. We all judge. We all have opinions about things. I'll say right now, my heart, my character, and my demeanor does not work in tangent with each other. They do not. Though my demeanor is very much so barrier built up protection or whatever. But I got a heart of gold. I've been through so much. Like, I really do not be stunning people. Like, I love people. Look in the camera and say, I love people. Hear me out clearly. But I really don't be worried about people. I could really care less about what people are going. And I mean that in the best way possible. But a lot of times when people meet me, we go get, and it goes, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it goes into one of my favorite, Matthew is one of my favorite books of the Bible. And it also goes with one of my favorite verses in the Bible, because a lot of times people judge me. It's okay to have your opinion about me. Like, I think you this way, I think you that way, this, that, and the third. And I'm going to break all that down. So I said, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. But a lot of times, like, if people make a judgment about me, it's kind of hard to come back for it. And I'm saying go with grace. Like, I'm still learning. Like, go with grace. I'm big on giving people empathy and moving with grace. But it's like, you did like me, you got to know me, and then you think like it's sweet. It's not. It's not. But I'm also not one of them people that believe only God can judge me. Everybody can judge you, and everybody will judge you. Everybody has an opinion. Should and can is different. Can you do it? Everybody can judge. There's babies that could look at you. They're not used to a person with your skin complexion, your accent, your hairstyle, your build, and they're in their environment. Not saying that their mom was like, this person ugly, this person weighs that, this person that look like that is ugly. They're just not used to seeing it. And a child could see you and you could look larger than life to them. They could either fall in love with you, being something different, or they could be like, oh no, I don't like that. This is how I feel about what I don't like it. That person makes me weird. People judge. We make good and bad judgment calls all the time. This episode is how I said, we do not occupy this world alone. It's all about getting people closer to understanding that we can coexist and not have the same opinion. But we do not have to be like, I hate you. We do not have to be like, I hate you. So that's what I mean when I say I don't be stunning people. Like, I get it. I done did bad things, good things, in the middle, questionable. So it's hard for me to judge. A lot of time, what people get wrong about me is that I'm very, my opinion. I'm very stern in my opinion, but I'm not trying to be judgmental. And the line blurs. Do not get me wrong. The line blurs, but I know they're not interchangeable. So sometimes I can be judgmental and I can attach it, but I try my best not to. And I can say I'm pretty good or not. I just have a strong opinion. I just have a strong opinion about certain things, and that's not me trying to judge you. So let's get into it. Let's think about it. We catch ourselves forming these opinions about someone or something and wondering, am I being judgmental or am I just being observant? So let's get into it right now. So in this episode, the whole part of this episode, I want y'all to be more compassionate and try to be more mindful in our thinking. So we won't even get caught up in negatively judging nobody. Because I'm telling you right now, and we're gonna get into it in the episode, the way that you look at somebody or the way that you judge somebody is just a reflection of how you are. That's just what it is. So you just holding up a mirror to yourself. You think you judging somebody and we looking at them, we looking at you. Sometimes it works, don't get me wrong, people in different stages of their life, they be like, oh yeah, you right, that person bad, they did this and that, easily led, whatever, but some of us, we know we've been in that game. We looking at you like, dang, that's what you think about that person. That's what you think about people that come from that, this, and the third. So let's get into it. Like I said, Matthew, one of my favorite books of the Bible, chapter 7, verse 1 through 2. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. That's the quote for this episode. I know I go back and forth about doing the quotes. Tell me if y'all like it. Tell me if y'all like it. Snapchat used to be booming. That's what most people contact me like. People think Snapchat dead. Snapchat is booming. It's one of my more follow. I think I got like 500, 600 some people on there or whatever. Like it's still little, but everywhere else is like 240, like 100. I don't think nothing in 100 still. All right, sidetrack. But I'm just saying it be booming. So if y'all want me to keep doing little quotes and stuff for the episodes, I know I go back and forth. Let me know because I like the quotes. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, so let's reflect on this verse. What that verse mean to me is the universal truth. Like I said, the way we judge people is often just a reflection of how we see ourselves. A lot of ways that we form opinions or judgment calls or whatever is off of what we seen, the environment we grew up in, our morals, churches, all of that, and then we push what we believe and define this person that we don't know. Like I say, I'm not saying not to make judgment calls. It happens. I'm saying do not judge people because you do not know. You do not know what a person has been through. You do not know what a person has been through. You do not know what a person is going through, and you do not know why a person is where they're at. And like I said, I have it bad. Like when people judge me, it's okay to have an opinion. Like you did this or you act this way. Matter of fact, let me slow down. Not get ahead of myself. But I'll just say to finish that thought, it's okay to have an opinion about me. Don't judge me. Do not judge me, because then it's hard. I'm still working on myself. I don't like you. I won't like you no more. It's like, yeah, cool, whatever. Man, I had you completely wrong. Yes, you did. But I have you right. I don't want to talk to you. So, all right. So here's a simple breakdown. We're going to get into it. I'm going to give you the breakdown of observation, opinion, and judgment. Then I'm going to give you an example of observation, opinion, and judgment. And then we're going to get into the episode, break it down. We're going to have our little conversation. Like I said, you still here. Like, share, subscribe, wherever, if you're watching it on YouTube, wherever you're listening to it on, share this podcast. Let's help the world be better. All right. So here's a simple breakdown. Observation is neutral. It's saying this is what I see. Simple as that. This is what I see. I made an observation. I see this. I see this. Opinion as interpretation. This is how I feel about what I see. This is how I feel about what I see. That is an opinion. Observation, neutral. This is what I see. Opinion as an interpretation. This is how I feel about what I see. Once again, you have feel about what you see. Judgment goes a step further, often assigning moral weight. This is what I think. This is what I say about their character. something so see like it's not you see how you can form an opinion about somebody but not necessarily go against their character because we get that's why y'all know one of my favorite things to say words are important. So a lot of time we use observation and judgment as interchangeable. They're not interchangeable. It's not a synonym for each other. Like be you can have like make an observation and you can have an opinion about somebody, but you do not have to be judgmental. You do not have to attack their character. And I'm not gonna lie, in the world today, especially on you got TikTok, you just got people. A lot of times, people attack people's character or like try to attack them at the heartstrings. Like you gonna be down for forever, so you need to get your. You don't want to get your shit together, so you gonna be. And it's like, wow, what the heck are we talking about? Like, no, that's not true. Like, but I ain't gonna go off on that tangent. Whatever. So we get into it. So let's go back through. Bring myself back in. All right. Observation is just saying this is what I see. An opinion as interpretation. This is how I feel about what I see. Judgment goes a step further, often assigning more weight. This is what I think this says about their character. Mind you, that is what you think it says about their character. You don't know their character. If you do not know them good enough to know their character, that's just what you think. Judgment is your big, glorified, super hyped up, moral weighted opinion. That is what you think. So your opinion, I feel this way about it. You could feel a way about something and not necessarily have no thoughts on it. Like I said, I don't really trip on people. That's at the time like my I said like my character, my demeanor, and my heart does not all line up. Like it doesn't, and it makes people judge me or form these opinions about me, or it makes people form these opinions about me, and then they be very judgmental about my character. Then they get to know me, and it's just like, oh, I thought you acted like this, thought you acted like that, and it's just like, no, no, you didn't know me good enough to judge my character. And who are you? Who are you to judge my character? Like I said on so many episodes, like people make their opinion, and I'm the same way. Like it's my opinion, but I know if I say like I really don't be tripping on people, but I also know that my opinion comes through so strong. My opinion comes through so strong. It makes people feel like this is it. It's just my opinion. In my heart and my mind, I know like it's my opinion. This is not the law. This is my opinion. So observation, neutral, just saying this is what I see. Opinion as interpretation, this is how I feel about what I see. Judgment goes a step further, often assign more weight. This is what I think this says about their character. Let's get into the example. Observation. The example of the observation. They're wearing a bright red suit. Simple observation. It could stay there. You just look. You can survey and see like that's what they got on. That is what it is. It's nothing else to it. Just that's a red suit. That's it. You just made an observation about a person. Opinion. The suit makes them stand. That suit makes them stand out. They must be confident. So this is how I feel about what I see. That's how you feel about it. That suit makes them stand out. That's how you feel about your observation. They must be confident. That's how you feel about your observation. That's how you feel about what you see. Let's go into judgment. They're trying too hard to be flashy. What if flashy not even a part of their character? Because mind you, judgment, it often aligns with a moral weight. And this is what I think this says about their character. So now, let's go back through the example again. They're wearing a bright red suit. That's the observation. Opinion. This makes them stand out. They must be confident. Judgment. They're trying too hard with that outfit. They being flashy. Trying too hard with that outfit. They being flashy. It's a flashy outfit. What? Lord rest her soul. You don't know what that person has going on, right? My grandmother who passed last year, her colors were red and black. That person could be on their way to a funeral. You have made a whole judgment about somebody's character off of an outfit that they have on. An outfit that they have on. This is when we get into the sayings, y'all. Knowing this podcast, I love breaking down the sayings that people love saying, but they do not even understand the meaning behind. If it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, it's a duck. It still cannot be a duck. Either it's a duck or it's not a duck. It can imitate a duck. It can imitate it. It can imitate being a duck. That means you're gonna walk like it, talk like it, but it's not a duck. It's not a duck. I can say it lands and it takes off. It lands. I can say it lands and it flies. It lands, it flies, it fuels up. It lands, it flies, it does whatever. It could be a bird or a plane. If it walk like a plane, talk like a plane, no. But we say it. We say it. We say it all the time. And it doesn't make it true. You have cast a judgment about somebody. So let's see, because you like I said, you got good and bad. So when you're imposing a negative judgment about somebody, that tells me more about your character. You holding a mirror up to yourself. Like, why does that person have to be flashy because they have a red suit? Because you'll never wear a red suit. Like, who taught you that? Or you just put that on yourself? Like, oh, they got a red suit on, they flashy. They just like red. That's it. Could stay there. Like, I'm a firm believer. Like, what is even a purpose of making negative judgment? And people say it all the time, like especially trolling, it's to make you feel better. You got somebody on the internet has never did nothing, barely does something, and never been in your shoes, and they're judging you. They're judging you. Like I said with the podcast, like until you go and from start to finish, there's only two people that's a part of this production. My producer, which is also my spouse, and myself. Editing, lighting, mic, audio, outlining, all this comes from one person. One person. So before you sit there, because you can form an opinion. The podcast, I seen the podcast. I didn't. The visual was like this. How you feel about it? I thought the visual could be better. I'm not really feeling it. The podcast sucked. The person's not good at doing podcasts because of all that. Like being judgmental when it's like you sit in front and do all that. When you think about people that have teams dedicated, they don't run the camera. They couldn't cut the camera on if you paid them to. They do not know how to run the camera. They do not know how to hook up their audio. And they don't have to worry about it. Some people don't even have to do their talking points. And now you got two people. And my producer really comes in and get the studio set up, take a couple pictures, and they are out. I take care of the outlines. We kind of bounce back and forth on doing like the thumbnail, shooting it up. But I'm just saying, like, people could be so judgmental. It's okay to have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. But people can be so judgmental, like, oh, they suck, they're not good, they don't care about themselves. Like, that's when it goes into attacking somebody's character, attacking somebody's belief off of your judgment. So that's how you feel about yourself. When you have not walked a mile in nobody's shoes, and a lot of time when people feel a need to cast that judgment and be negative. And what people seldomly talk about when people do cast good judgments, but they make a bad judgment call. Yeah, like we don't really talk about that. Like it comes up in relationships. Like I'm bad at I have bad judgment call. You don't have a bad judgment call. You got a judgment bias, and we all have biases, but you have a judgment bias, and you're not learning from the experiences that you're going through. So you experience this, and you're not reflecting on it. So I'm picking the same people or the same type of people. I'm putting myself in the same type of situation that means me no good. That doesn't mean that you have bad judgment. Maybe your opinion about what you see, you could say, oh, that person is well put together. I like that. That's how you feel about an observation. The observation is that person is well put together. I like that. You can add just like the other example, they're confident. And then you make a judgment about them. That person is a good person. that person has good morals. That person, because they're put together, they have that. And then you get with a person straight from the pits of hell. I'm talking about horrible person because the opinion that you form had that. You're like, I make bad judgment. Maybe tweak the way that your opinion, like your opinion, because it's gonna lead into it. If that makes sense, let me know if that makes sense. Like people get with people, people get put themselves in a situation. It is not necessarily your judgment, your opinion. It's just needs to be tweaked because you say that this person's character is good off of the opinion you made about them being put together. And like you say, they're confident because they're put together and this, that, and the third, but really they're insecure. They're insecure. And when you get with them, because you feel, let's just see if I can bring it back, bring it around. So your opinion about yourself, when you put clothes on, you feel good, you put together, you feel like it's good. You feel like this is good, I'm confident. So you give that and you project that on to somebody else. So once again, it's not even rooted. Some judgment is not even rooted in a bad place, but it may end us up in a bad situation. So then you see a person, now you have this opinion about yourself in your head. Like I say, judgment is usually just a mirror of how we feel about ourselves, morals, experience, whatever we've been through. So you see a man, woman, boy, chick, child, and they put together, they dress nice or whatever. You tell them, I mean, in your mind, you saying that they're confident. You make an observation, they well put together, and then your judgment is based off of how you feel. You ain't got to know 'em. That's why it's not even a negative judgment. But based off how you feel, you're saying that this person has good character. But that's your opinion that you have assigned to this person. And you like, my judgment is bad. Your judgment is not bad. Your opinion is not bad. You just have to learn, be more mindful. Like that's not what that's not that person's opinion. You didn't even get to form an opinion about that person. You just put your opinion on them. And that person dresses nice and well put together because they insecure. And so now you get into a relationship with an insecure person and you can't do nothing. The thing that makes you feel good, putting clothes on, putting yourself together, when you do that with that person, now they're jealous. You never would have thought that was in their character because you thought they had a good character because they was put together. Stop assigning how you feel about yourself on other people. A lot of times we get stuck so bad, and like I said all the time, and I'm never gonna not stop saying it because this is about making people better and giving all the power back to people. Like you are great, you are wonderful. You know this already. Just use it. You are signing your opinion and giving people too much credit. Your opinion, they came from the streets. They do what I do like me. You assign your opinion and your character to these people. Get to know these people. If you have not known somebody long enough to know them, know their character, then don't assign your character to this person, to these people, to this friend group. Make your observations first for yourself. Sit back and observe. Observe twice, move once. Judge nothing. 9 times out of 10, judgment is not even needed because it's usually something negative that comes with it. That's why the famous saying, before you judge someone, walk them out in their shoes. This puts you, like I say, because the other thing wasn't bad, but this puts you to try to be considerate of the other person. So, like I say, that judgment of putting stuff together, nice clothes, they're confident, made a, that observation, you made the opinion, hey, they put together, they must be confident, the judgment, they have good character because they're put together and they're nice. That's not even bad, but you got to put yourself in that other person's shoes. You done got this confirmation bias for this what's good and bad character and what's good and bad for judgment that you have not even made an observation of that person for real. Like you can observe a person yelling. I said, I tell why that person treat that people that way. And I'm not saying Everybody needs to know your life story. Everybody does not need to know what's behind the armor, but you can make an observation and form an opinion and make a more compassionate, mindful judgment of a person without knowing their whole life story. Because the moment you hear yelling off of what you've been through or whatever, people shut down. That person yelling, that because that person is yelling, they're insecure. They're not a good person. They wasn't raised right. But you don't know what makes a person act the way that a person. You have to, like I said, not have to. I say it all the time. You don't have to, but putting yourself in somebody else's shoes goes a long way. But empathy gets thrown around, but interpreted different. It's not about how you would feel in that person's situation. It's being able to open up your ears and listen, not hear. Being able to open up your ears and listen. Because we say all the time, people be like, I hear you, I hear you. I need you to listen to me. I'm telling you, this is how I feel. I am telling you, this is where I'm at in life. This is how I feel. Like when people get down, people think that they could give a lot of compliments to bring them down. No, no, meet them where they at. And I'm not saying drag yourself down. If you're not emotionally, mentally stable enough to deal with it, tell a person that. Don't let them just dump it on you and then now you bogged down. But at the same time, you made an observation. You gave your opinion. When I observed that you are in a negative headspace. When I'm in a negative headspace, in my opinion, this how I make it better. And this is whatever. And then you once again you put how you would handle the situation, your opinion on somebody else off of that observation. No, no. What is that person telling you? How is that person telling you they're getting it better? I'm one of the main people. I need space. I need space. Leave me alone. Like you did not help me get to this place that I'm at. Good, bad, or ugly. Not saying it in a negative way at all. Good, I'm saying good, bad, or ugly. You didn't help me get to this place. I. This is what I do to get out of this place. I don't need you. You. Why you fasting? Why you reading the Bible? That's white man book. This, that, and the third. I don't need none of that. I don't care. One, and I don't need none of that. Two, just give me space. Come down to where I'm telling you. And a lot of times people tell us what they need, how they are the first time, and we do not listen because we just hear them or we make our own observation. It's hard for us to multitask, so it's hard for you to look and also it's easy for you to look and make an observation, but it's hard for you to form an opinion. So once again, what you do, you put your opinion of what's going on in a situation. It's being compassionate and understanding that it's okay to have your opinion. You don't have to say your opinion out loud. And so take this with you. Make no judgment where you lack compassion. If you are not able to be compassionate in a situation, make no judgment. Like I said, observation is going to happen. Like as a small itty bitty child, you're going to make observations about situations. You're going to observe stuff. Like that's just normal. That's being human. That you just turn your brain off and you kind of just like, you know, go away for a little bit. Like you're gonna make observations. That's just a part of being human. But you don't have to make a judgment. You ain't got to form an opinion. And even if you do form an opinion, that's not my cup of tea. Move on. Like you remove judgment from the interaction. It's plenty of people I don't mess with. I ain't like it's no judgment. Like I don't care. I'm not saying nothing about your character. Once again, going through experiences in life, it makes it so hard for me to judge. My opinion is very strong, and 9 times out of 10, my opinion is firm. But once, like I don't know no other way to say, like I don't be tripping on people. I genuinely love people. I don't want to be around them all the time, but I love people. But I'm not tripping on how you acting. Like I'm and I always go extreme because people think like murderers killers, rapists, all that. Like, you never know what make a person act the way they act. Like, if you haven't been through search, it's just so hard. That's why it's hard to put yourself in the shoes. I don't want to put my shoes in the. I don't want to put myself in the shoes of a murderer. Cool, don't judge them. Don't judge them. And I'm not talking about on the law go be the law and people got to judge. That's something else. I'm just talking about you as a person. That's a lot of things. That's a lot of things. That's a big reason that a lot of people run away from Christianity. Where does it tell you that you are able to judge? And then when people get judged the same way, and it's not talking down, because in the Bible it states like you don't talk down on a preacher. But I'm trying to say it the best way I know how. But because people are so big on letting their opinion and observation cloud their judgment, even some of the big Christian churches and platforms, they're not even teaching Bible no more. They're not even teaching Bible no more. They are passing judgment, and it's more of a motivational speaker. They say one quote from the Bible, and they go on from it. All glory to God, Jesus Christ, all different denominations, how you roll with it. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of these big ones now, you don't even remember the lesson from the Bible. A lot of people don't teach Bible. A lot of people don't read Bible. They remember a couple scriptures, or they do this and they say it came from God. And like I said, I'm not talking down on preachers in my opinion. This is my observation. This is how I feel about what I see. So many people don't even teach Bible no more, because they know people already have. If you teach straight from the Bible, you brainwashed. That's white man, blah blah, all down line. You got people think that. You got people that these people are not gonna be in the seats if I teach. Like 9 times out of 10, people not teaching Bible. Turn in your Bible to this page. They gonna take a scripture and then they gonna preach about it, and then it's gonna be a motivational speech. I'm not coming to church to make an observation and form an opinion about this pastor's ability to teach from, or I don't even want to say teach from his heart, but I guess, yeah, teach from his heart. I want to know this man talked to the man of God. Not saying that I don't, but this word is coming from God. This word is coming from the Bible, not all these different little antics. But, and like I said, like, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. It'll be a whole episode. But a lot of times we just, that preacher did this, that preacher did that. This preacher more open, and now you made an observation and you already had an opinion. You made a judgment call, but that preacher ain't leading you nowhere near the Bible. You just coming from church feeling good, just, and it's like, what did you learn? And I'm only saying that because it's funny. Like, social media has made it where you're able to see so many people different thoughts and reactions, and it's just funny to read some of the comments and it'd be like, you could tell people have never read the Bible, read the Quran. Like I said, I'm a Christian, I believe in the Bible, but also, like, I'm strong in my belief. So when I go off and I do these other things, I'm not indulging in it and with no thinking like it could turn me or do whatever. Like, I believe in this, I'm strong in this. I don't even want to say get curious. Or, like, I'm never turning against what I believe in. That's just how I am. I'm a die with this belief that I have. Jesus Christ, Bible, this His word. God, all of that. Once again, like I said, I ain't trying to get up into that tangent. I'm just saying that to say a lot of people have not even experienced knowing the Lord word for themselves, because they're going to church to get this speech and this person giving his motivational speeches or whatever, and it's like you have already made a judgment about you made an observation and you already have this opinion. You're not even making an opinion about this person. You have already attached your own opinion to what a preacher is supposed to be. And with you attaching that opinion on to what a preacher is supposed to be, then you made a judgment. This is a good preacher. His character is good. This word is coming from the Lord. And I'm just saying, to me, I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. But going back into it, back to passion. Compassion allows us to understand, overthinking, understanding. instead of condemn people, instead of being like, yeah, you homeless, you poor, you just suck as a person, you lazy, like all this stuff. With it's like I one of my favorite TikTok creators. Well, I like their videos. I say one of my favorite, but I don't know their name. I'll be lying, but I'm just bad with names. But they did like this little skit or whatever. Long story short, homeless man came in. One of the other co-workers was trying to put the homeless man out. In the process of trying to put the homeless man out, the other employee went to got him a bottle of water. Got him a bottle. Went and got them a bottle of water. And at the end of it, they had like a little back and forth, like, don't help them. You just going to enable them. They need to get their stuff together. And then, the creator was like, but I give you a ride to work every day. So I should stop helping you. And then, at the end of the skit, it was just like, we are one paycheck away from being homeless. Just have some compassion. And I'm not saying that you have to, that's why I said, like, you don't have to put yourself in harm's way by being compassionate. Like, you can have compassion. But you can still also know, you can make an observation, you could, have opinion about certain things where you can make a judgment call. And it may hurt somebody's feelings, but you also don't know, because it could be a homeless person that's not in their right mind. And they have no intentions to hurt you, but they will hurt you. They just not in their right mind. So I don't want you to take this episode and say, oh, that person looks shady, but Victoria told me, don't cast judgment, have some compassion. You go stay on the side of the street with them and you get hurt. I'm not saying that. I want you to learn and lean to your own understanding and understand that you're making an observation and you're forming your opinion, and that's where your judgment call is coming from. Not just made an observation, go straight to judgment. Like, it literally takes skill. I'm big on separating myself from a lot of people for that reason. Because, and I said all the time, if you're in it, it's kind of hard for you to see the outside. So it's hard to make an observation when you're literally inside of it. So all you have is opinions on things. And then you just have judgment. It's opinions and judgment, and you're not being very observant because you're in it. So I try my hardest to try to bag out of it. Try to be as far away from it as I can. And I'm just saying, once again, perspective wise, being able to see the whole picture. And it's not always there. So you learn through experience. It's just like anything. You train it, you train it, you exercise it, and you're able to use it. So it becomes like a learned skill. So without even thinking about it, you understand that your judgment is mindful. Your judgment is, you have a compassion. Like, I don't know if that's, like, I'm trying to break it down the best way that I know how. But I also understand, like, the way that I see stuff, everybody not gonna see it. That's another thing that's difficult about a podcast, because you want to be able not to just get up here and talk and be like, hey guys, this is this. I think I'm so smart. I want people to get it. Like, if I'm not helping people, shut it down. Judgment is going to happen. Observation is going to happen. People are going to form your opinion. Just understanding, like I said earlier in this episode, when you judge somebody, negative or good, a lot of times it's a reflection of what you think, of what you believe. That person probably did nothing but be themselves, and you made a judgment about it, good or bad, but it still is a bigger reflection on you than how they are. And yes, some people become a little bit more open to certain things that have become more normal. Like, we understand, like, every homeless person not bad. Every homeless person not homeless because they lazy. But certain things people will never see eye to eye on. Weight, depending on what race you are, the way that you were raised, weight is a big thing. And I had this conversation with my spouse, and all the time, like, she'd be like, you don't like skinny people. That's not true. But I do have an opinion and a perception and I do observe, like, I don't find them attractive, you know? But, and I'm not body positivity, you know? I'm just trying to explain it the best way I know how. I make an observation of it, but I'm not judging you. I'm not, you're a bad person because you're skinny, this, that, and the third. I do have an opinion. I do make a judgment on somebody's character. If I see you, like it says, the measure that you judge people, the quote that we started this podcast with, the measure of how you judge people will be how you be judged. So if you're skinny, you're like, all fat people are sloppy, this, that, and the third. And then now I have a little bit more to say. Now I kind of form an opinion about your character. Once again, like judgment, negativity, all that, it doesn't, a negative judgment gives you the satisfaction of providing what? Like, negative judgment gives more satisfaction than praise. Provided what? Oh, well, that makes you feel better about yourself casting judgment on somebody else. Like, I'm skinny, or I'm smaller than that person, so I look good. What? That's what that provides you. Like, what? And sometimes people be jealous. It- We got trolls super hard, super crazy now. People troll like crazy, and they just jealous. They ain't never did it. Never gonna do it. My opinion. You could prove me wrong, but a lot of times that's what social media has came from. Just, and I didn't say a lot of social media because some of it be computers and robots, and some of it be just cowardly people. But they know they're gonna get judged the way they judge people, so that's why they don't put no picture up. They have nothing for you to judge them on. But we know, like, okay, you got 0.1 follow, you got 0 posts, 20 followers, you following a whole bunch of people. Like, it's something going on there. I'm not trying to lose the direction of this episode, but it's just so much that you can cram into it. Like, I was gonna make this episode a car episode. If you haven't checked out the car episode, I think we got like three episodes out, 2 or 3 episodes out. But just saying that to say, like, the car episodes, I try to keep it like a minute to like 10 minutes, something like that, like semi long, short. But it's just so much that goes into it because people talk about judging others all the time, and we judge people's opinions. We judge people's opinions when it's normal for people to have an opinion. You do not have to always voice your opinion. Said it before, said it again. You don't always have to voice your opinion, but you have every right to have an opinion. You could judge. You don't have, what's the point of, once again, I'm talking about, if you're making a negative judgment, it's praise to you. It's confirmation to you. Like, I said it, that made me feel better. You just being me. Like, I truly don't get it. Like, I'm not learning that judgment a lot of times come from lack of experience and they just ain't been there. But I just truly don't get where people feel like there's so much of themselves that they have a right to judge anybody. Like, I don't get that. I don't know no other way to put it. Like, I don't get that. It's like, yes, I understand, but it's just like, it's still like, nah, you ain't got to do that. There's no reason in the world that I feel like you should judge anybody. And once again, it's like anything else. It's just a reflection of you. Like, it's just a reflection of you. That's how you feel about it. It still is not going to make it true. People be so big on giving their opinion and attacking people for having their opinion. But you attack my opinion. You can attack my opinion and be like, okay, I don't agree with that. You don't have to say, like, you a stupid motherfucker for having that opinion. Forgive me. Or you dumb, or like, whatever, for having that opinion. You a bad person. You're a good person. Like, judgment is unneeded unless it's needed. But it's also understanding of learning or not teaching kids and teaching people, like, only God could judge me. Everybody can judge you. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. But everybody is gonna judge you most of the time. Most of the time. make sure I gave y'all. I had a lot of points. Here's why I say sometimes I like mellowing out with a co-host because it keep me balanced. But I get up here and talk all day. I just want to make sure that y'all getting it because this, man, and I say it all the time. Uh, People always talk about like I'm so confident, but when you are on the other side of being judged or people forming opinions about you all the time, it's almost like how can you not learn to be confident because people are going to talk regardless. Like I feel when people that haven't been in those situations, and not saying that of course like you get a whole bunch of negative things, it sucks. But people that have not been in that situation, my personal opinion, it feels like they get beat up more by it. Like they get embarrassed more, they get messed up. I say it all the time, my spouse really don't believe me, but I'd be like, I don't get embarrassed. And they'd be like, you do get embarrassed. I don't get embarrassed. Like we all human. There's nothing that I can do that another human has not did. And I carry that with me, you know? Um, I get nervous. I get anxious sometimes. And that's part of it. But to be like embarrassed, no. You could think of any and everything. Pierce, like it's done happen. Especially when experiences done already happened to it. It's like, who are you to judge? Especially, like I said, when people leave without, if you have no compassion, don't cast a judgment. You can make an observation. These people are homeless. They dirty. You could drop them on soap, bottles of water, and a sleeping mat. You made an observation. You gave an opinion or whatever. You made a judgment call. Nobody was negatively affected by it. I don't know why I got caught up on that. Nobody was negatively affected by it. But it looked like I hit everything. And I'm not, like I say, bad is bad judgment and good judgment. If you made it to the end of this episode, I'm gonna wrap up some points. I'm not saying don't judge. I'm not saying don't have an opinion. I'm not saying do not make observations. Have an opinion, make observations. Be compassionate and more mindful about your judgment. Good judgment. Good judgment comes from experiences. Good judgment sometimes comes from good experiences. And experiences come from bad judgment. So you can learn through learning. Like I do be judging people. I do go a step further than just stating my opinion and how I feel about my opinion to actually attacking somebody's character. But the more you learn from your mistakes, the more equipped you are to approach situation with clarity and fairness. People be like, life not fair. It is. I said, like people say, life not fair. Life not fair. Life is very fair. People not always fair. We mess with like most things, human error. But life is fair. What can happen to the richest man in the world can happen to the poorest man in the world. Life is very fair. Even cut kill. Just as soon as you exist, you will no longer exist. As far as we know, life is pretty fair. That's my personal belief. Like, try to get that thought, that messed up thinking out of your head. Life ain't fair. Life is very fair. Life is very fair. It's fair. People are not fair. Life, just like I said with time, it does nothing to you. People suck. 9 times out of 10, life not fair. People have put you in situations that made it whatever. And so now you done had an observation, you done formed an opinion, and now you have a judgment. Life is not fair. It's fair. Don't attack life character. Attack people. No, but don't attack life character because people have formed you this opinion. Life is fair. Like I said, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna end it off again. With just saying, observation is neutral. It's saying this is what I see. Opinion as interpretation. This is how I feel about what I see. Judgment goes a step further, often assigning more weight. This is what I think this says about their character. This is what I think it says about their character. So let's get it in with it. We all make the mistake sometime of judging. We should observe. We should let our opinion run wild. I said that right. That's okay because every misstep is an opportunity to grow. When we take the time to pause and reflect and ask ourselves, am I observing, forming an opinion, or am I judging? We step closer to understanding not just others, but ourselves. And let's not forget the way that you judge others, hitting back to Matthew. I told you it was going to end with that quote. Do not judge, or you will be judged. For the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the way you measure, the measure you use, it will be used to measure you. It's okay. It's okay to judge. It's okay to judge. We just want to get better about how we judge it. Judging a person does not define who they are. It never will. Your opinion of a person and never what you eat don't make them do number two. Judging a person does not define who they are. It defines who you are. And that's the end of the episode. I hope y'all like it. I hope y'all like it. I try to be more structured. This episode, is. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to this episode as much as I enjoy making it. Like I said, I really hope y'all get the gist of it. Judging is okay. Making observations is okay. Let's just work on being better. Let's just work on being better, one step at a time. Stop overthinking, understanding. Stop overthinking, understanding. You don't want to be judged. Don't judge other people. You don't always want something negative, and you don't always want negative judgment to come to you. Don't be negative. Don't be negative to other people. Thank you for tuning in to Overthinking Understanding Podcast. Excuse me. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please, like I say, Snapchat, people be sneak. People be sleep on Snapchat. I get more inboxes on Snapchat than anything. Second, Facebook, and then email. It's crazy, right? But the way my fan base is set up is weird. It's like 18 to 25 and then like 45 to 50. So I think that's pretty freaking cool. But it's like a gap in how they communicate. But I want you to share your experiences. I always love to hear experiences. Your reflection, how this episode made you feel. And even the moments that you caught yourself overthinking. Until next time, let's strive to be less judgmental, more compassionate, and always curious. Until next time, be genuine to yourself and kind to others. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Remember, video out on YouTube Monday. Audio will be dropping Wednesday. Be safe. Once again, Happy New Year's.